These speakers and amplifiers are everything I wanted, everything I expected, and more. You are in for a real treat. I have a very special video for you all today. For those that follow the channel, you know that I have been waiting for brand new speakers since about April, but one thing I never did mention is that I will be replacing all of my amplification for the new speakers as well. Well, the day finally came. I did receive all of my front stage speakers as well as all of my new amplification, so let's get into the boxes today and talk about them. I'm Barrett, this is Spec Tech. Welcome to the channel. So I said that this is going to be a special video, and I truly meant it. Not only are we going to be unboxing an exuberant amount of hi-fi gear today, it's my first video in a few months. With the lockdowns being lifted in Canada, we wanted to take some time and go see family because we weren't allowed to for quite some time. And also work was incredibly busy, so I had to take some time off of YouTube. But we are back, and this is one of the biggest videos ever to hit the channel, so make sure you guys stay tuned. And of course, there is going to be some demos in this video. So before we do get too far into this video, I do want to point out that I purchased all of this equipment with my own money, so nobody had any say or any influence in what I'm about to say in this video or any video afterwards regarding this equipment. I also want to point out that I've actually tried recording this video twice before. I meant to have this video released about 3.5 weeks ago, but the audio from it was completely unusable. The mic was having some sort of internal issue. So when I got back home from out of town, I tested that microphone 5 times and it worked flawlessly. So then, of course, when I went to go record the video for the second time, the audio was again completely unusable. So I had to scrap that entire video, and I've scrapped that microphone altogether. So as you can see off to my right, I am using my Blue Yeti microphone. So let me know if this is actually a preferable audio versus my previous videos. And if you guys do like this audio, as long as you don't mind having this microphone off to the right, I'm sure it's not distracting anyway. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Real quick, I do want to say a huge thank you to Amir at Summit Hi-Fi, which is where I purchased all of this amazing gear. He always has fantastic customer service, great pricing, and he does carry some hi-fi gear that not a lot of other retailers are carrying. Okay, I think we've all been patient enough. Let's get into these boxes. So we're going to start by unboxing all of the Nuprime amplifiers. We're going to be unboxing 3 AMG STA stereo amplifiers and 2 Nuprime MCX4 4-channel amplifiers. And besides the amplifiers, we are going to be unboxing 1 Nuprime AC4 power conditioner as well. So let's get right into it, starting with this one, whatever this might be. Alright, so this is the power conditioner. It's called an AC4. So literally all that's in the box, guys, is just the power conditioner itself. You got a little manual for it, and then you got your power adapter. Pretty slick looking little unit. I'll get some close-ups here in a bit, but let's continue unboxing. Okay, so it's just a box within a box. So the packaging is actually really kind of nice. So maybe we'll get one close-up of this box here. Don't mind me. So actually a pretty nice packaging for the Nuprime, and this is one of the AMG STA amplifiers. So let's get into it. And again, very nice packaging. Some heavy high density foam here. Little manual. And then the amplifier, which, considering it looks pretty small, it's got some weight to it. Get it out of the plastic here. This thing looks really slick. It's got a nice, almost like a bluish gray metal body, and then there's just a little box here, which I'm guessing is just the power. Yeah, so just the power supply there. I definitely have no complaints with how this amplifier looks. Of course, that's only aesthetic. We'll see how it sounds later. But let's get into these other boxes here in the meantime. Guys, it's absolutely cooking in my house right now. We're in a bit of a heat wave here in Canada, surprisingly, and we don't have central air conditioning because our summers are usually pretty mild. So here's another one of the AMG STAs. So I'm not going to bother opening this one. We already know what's inside the box, but it's identical to that one. Next box. This is like Christmas, guys. Christmas in August. And this is the third and final AMG STA. Just opens like so. So this is the MCX4 4-channel amplifier. Again, just a power adapter, and then the amplifier itself. So this is how Nuprime does multi-channel. 4-channel, I believe, is the most channels that you can get. But as you can see here, you got balanced and unbalanced. We'll get more close-ups of that once we get everything unboxed. Alright, so here's the last Nuprime product for today. And there it is, guys, the last Nuprime MCX4. I won't even bother taking it out of the box because we already showed the one. Now that we have all of those unboxed, I particularly like the simple yet classy look of the AMG STA amplifier. Alright, so now it's time to unbox the star of the show. So we are going to be unboxing the Legacy Audio Focus SE Towers, as well as the Legacy Audio Marquis XD center channel. Alright guys, it's finally time for me to get into these speakers. I've been waiting for them for months, and they've been sitting down here for about 6 hours waiting for me to have time so that I can do the video for you guys. So I hope you guys know I do this for you guys. I've been patient just so I can record it for you guys. So I'm going to start by unboxing the Marquis Center, and then I'll move on to one of the Focus speakers. There's no point in me showing both of them because it's just a waste of time. I'll show you the unboxing of one, and the other one I'll just unbox off camera. And you're going to have to excuse me, guys. We're having a bit of a heat wave in Canada, and it's pretty warm in this room because I don't have AC. So if you see me getting a little bit flush, it's because it's probably about 27 degrees in here, and that's in Celsius. All right, let's get into this box. Enough chatting. Okay, so it's a box within a box. Okay, so we got some thick foam, so probably better for me to flip this upside down. All right, let's try and get this off of here. Oh, these boxes are heavy duty, you guys. It comes in this nice drawstring bag here. So let's flip this away from the drivers. And this is a seriously solid speaker. It's pretty heavy. Oh, this finish is beautiful. What an amazing finish. Let's try and get this drawstring bag off here. Alright guys, now that we got this one unboxed, I'm going to move on to the Focus. I'm already sweating, it's crazy hot in here, but can't wait to get these things unboxed. Alright guys, as you can see, this is actually one beast of a speaker. It's almost as tall as I am, and I don't imagine it's going to be a whole lot of fun unboxing by myself because it is 136 pounds, but I need my workout for today, so let's get into it. So I do like how Legacy Audio packages their speakers. They did a really good job on the Marquis. They seem to have done a really good job on this one. As you can see, once you get inside the dual boxes, it's packaged so that there's space all around the speaker with this foam and these hard corner pieces. So there's actually probably about a 2.5 or 3 inch gap around all the edges due to this foam here. So that's gonna make for a bit of a challenge getting it out of here. Yeah, and this is the driver's side, so I don't want to tip it over to lift the box up. So I'm just gonna have to wiggle it out. The downside to these speakers is the box is massive. It's kind of a pain to deal with. But then again, I don't have a whole lot of space here, so at least they protect it well. So I think the best bet would be to lay it on its side to get that piece of styrofoam off, and then I can get the nice drawstring bag started to take it off. So let's just close that up. So let's turn that. So there's nothing on its side that can be damaged, so we'll tip this over. Start taking this drawstring bag off. Take this off. And there it is. Absolute beast of a speaker. Let's take this off so you guys can see the drivers. After I got these speakers unboxed, guys, all I can say is wow. I'm absolutely blown away at these Legacy Audio speakers. They are monstrous, but at the same time, elegantly beautiful. I've never been so excited to hook up a speaker before, and of course, since this is the third time I'm recording this video, as you can see, I already do have them hooked up in the background, and guys, I'm absolutely loving how these speakers look in my system. Alright, so now that we have everything unboxed, let's talk pricing, specs, some of my first impressions, and of course we're going to do some demos, and in traditional fashion, let's start off with the prices. But real quick, before we get into those Benjamins, if you guys are interested in audio and home theater, please consider helping me get to 10,000 subscribers. I'm getting awfully close, so I'd really appreciate if you would subscribe, tick the bell icon if you do, and please take just 1 second out of your day to hit that like button. I really do appreciate it. I'd also like to say a real quick thank you to my Patreon subscribers. If you guys are interested in joining them, the link is down in the description below. All right, so let's talk price. The Legacy Audio Focus SE towers are $10,600 US a pair, but the prices can actually vary because they have 3 different tiers of finishes. They have standard, premium, and exotic. Here I have the premium finish, which is black pearl. The Legacy Audio Marquis XD is $5,000 US, and again, the price can vary here because it is offered up in the same 3 tiers. And again, I have the black pearl premium finish here. The Nuprime AMG STA amplifiers are $1,695 US a piece. The Nuprime MCX4 amplifiers are $1,795 US a piece. And the Nuprime AC4 power conditioner is $950 US each. If you are interested in purchasing any Legacy Audio or Nuprime audio products, I have dropped links down in the description below to Summit Hi-Fi's website, so feel free to check them out down there. Alright, so now that we've covered how much dinero it would take to get each of these pieces, let's talk about some of the basic specs. Keep in mind that I will be doing review videos on most of these pieces, so make sure you guys stay tuned on the channel where I will be going more in depth during those videos. Alright, so let's start off with the Nuprime AC4 power conditioner. This unit is 2.9 inches high, 13 inches wide, and 10 inches deep, and it weighs in at 7.7 pounds. It has 4 Furatech 24 karat gold plated AC sockets. 2 of them are 10 amp and 2 of them are 3 amp. The display can be turned on and off using a toggle on the back of the unit, and it displays the output current, the AC inlet voltage, and the output power consumption. There is a toggle switch on the back of the unit which allows you to use the unit normally, which means when you plug it in, it is powered on, or you can toggle that switch to the 12-volt trigger mode or the remote mode, which allows this unit to be powered on with a 12-volt trigger from your AVR or processor. That is actually one of the main reasons that I purchased the AC4, is because the AMG STAs do not have a 12-volt trigger, so I can just plug them into this power conditioner and have this power conditioner triggered from my AVM70 processor, which will in turn turn on the AMG STA amplifiers. And speaking of the AMG STA amplifiers, let's talk about some of the basic specs of these units. So So before we discuss some of the basic specs, I just wanted to explain why I did choose the Nuprime amplifiers in the first place. So the first reason is that for the past 6 to 9 months, I have been curious about trying the Nuprime amplifiers simply because they are a Class D, but online they're kind of referred to as an audiophile Class D. So I have been curious to know what that actually means. So just you guys knowing me, I do like to try things for myself. So after reading that, that is one reason I wanted to try these amplifiers. And in addition to that, the Class D amplifiers are a lot smaller and a lot more efficient, which produce less heat. So that is another reason that I wanted to try Class D. The second reason is because I contacted Legacy Audio directly and asked them if the Nuprime amplifiers would be a good fit for their speakers, and they came back and assured me that they are a great fit for their speakers. And lastly, it's because I found out that Legacy Audio used to use Nuprime audio amplifiers to demo their speakers. So logically speaking, I'm thinking that Legacy Audio, of course, is not going to recommend an amplifier that's not going to make their speakers sound great. And secondly, if they are using those amplifiers to demo those speakers, they of course want their speakers to sound the best when showing them to potential new customers. So if they are using Nuprime amplifiers, obviously they bring out the best sound in their speakers. So all of that reassured me that I was making a great choice in the Nuprime amplifiers to run my Legacy Audio speakers. Alright, so let's get back to the basic specs of the AMG ST amplifier. So this amplifier is actually a single-ended non-negative Class A module coupled with a double feedback Class D module. So basically, it is a Class A amp with a Class D power supply that switches at 700 MHz, which provides a smooth Class A sound with the fast big power of Class D. Now please do keep in mind that Nuprime admittedly does add some characteristics to some of their amplifiers, and the AMG STA is one of those. The unit itself is 2.1 inches high, 9.25 inches wide, 11.2 inches deep, and weighs in at 8.8 pounds. The outer shell is a hardened aerospace aluminum that is a unique light metallic blue color. It has both unbalanced and balanced inputs, and a cool added touch is the XLRs glow blue when the unit is powered on. Obviously, it is only useful if you're trying to find the ports in a poorly lit area, like in a dark rack for instance, but I also thought it was a nice touch nonetheless. It is a 2-channel amplifier that provides 130 watts per channel into 8 ohms, 300 watts per channel into 4 ohms, and it can also be used as a monoblock amplifier in bridge mode, which provides 300 watts into 8 ohms and 320 watts into 4 ohms. This is exactly how I will be using these amplifiers, so one for the left channel, one for the center, and one for the right, and these are 4 ohm speakers, so I should be getting about 320 watts per channel. And now that we know that the AMG STAs are powering my front stage, obviously the two MCX4 4-channel amplifiers will be powering my 4 height channels as well as my 4 surrounds. The MCX4 is a 4-channel amplifier that will put out 180 watts into 8 ohms and 280 watts into 4 ohms RMS, but at peak output it will put out 300 watts at 8 ohms and 400 watts at 4 ohms. The unit itself is 17 inches wide, 2.9 inches tall, and 13.6 inches deep, weighs in at 14.3 pounds, and it too is an all-metal body build in a matte black finish. It has both balanced and unbalanced inputs for each of its 4 channels. Be sure to flick the toggle switch for each channel depending on which type of connection you are using. There is also a mute switch for each channel, which will do exactly that. Mute the channel if you are not using it, or just a quick way to mute a channel for any reason. The MCX4 does also have a trigger input and output. So one important thing that I would like to point out for both of these amplifiers is you have to make sure that the voltage selector switch is in the right position, whether you're using 115 volt or 230 volt. So I will be using 115 or 120. So I have both of these amplifiers switched to 115. The AMG STA, the switch is on the bottom of the unit, and the MCX4, the switch is at the back of the unit. Again, I will be speaking about these units in more detail during the review video, so make sure you stay tuned, but let's get into these beautiful Legacy Audio speakers. Alright, so let's talk about some of the basic specs of the center speaker first, so the Marquis XD. So this speaker is actually a 4 ohm 3-way speaker, and it has a frequency response of 22 Hz to 25 kHz, plus or minus 2 dB, and it has a sensitivity of 95 dB. But judging by the website, it does look like that could be an in-room rating. So if it is an in-room rating, it would be closer to 90 dB anechoic, give or take. Its recommended amplification is 15 to 400 watts. The Marquis is 38 inches wide, 14 inches high, 13 inches deep, and it weighs in at a hefty 96 pounds. And as I said earlier, it is their premium black pearl finish. To try and help visualize the finish, think of it as like a fine automotive black metallic high gloss finish. This speaker is a 4-driver unit that is packing 2 12-inch woofers for the low end, one 7.5-inch mid-range driver, and a 4-inch dual pole air motion tweeter, or AMT. It is equipped with dual 5-way binding posts for bi-wiring and bi-amping, and there is a toggle switch for both the treble and the bass. The treble toggle is flat in the up position, and in the down position it is down 2 dB at 10 kHz for brighter rooms. The The bass toggle is flat down to 22 Hz in the up position, and in the down position it is down 2 dB at 60 Hz, and in this position it also raises impedance, which should help your receiver if it can handle 4 ohm loads. And one quick important note here is that this speaker does not come with any feet. Several months back, I did put out a video that stated using a tower speaker is ideal for a center speaker, and I still do stand by that, but unfortunately in this case, I was not able to use a Focus SE as my tower center speaker, simply because it is too tall, so I did have to go with the horizontally aligned Marquis XD. But with that being said, if there ever was a center speaker that was capable in its own right, it's the Marquis XD. This center channel is the most intimidating center speaker I have ever witnessed, and I believe it's earned its right to be placed horizontally next to the Focus SE towers. And speaking of the Focus SE towers, let's get into some of their specs. So the Focus SE is a 4 ohm 4-way speaker with a frequency response of 18 Hz to 30 kHz, plus or minus 2 dB, and it has a sensitivity of 95 dB. They have a recommended amplification of 30 to 750 watts each. They are large tower speakers measuring 14 inches wide, 55 inches tall, and 15.3 inches deep, and they weigh in at 136 pounds each, and again I opted for the premium black pearl finish. They are a 6-driver unit with a 1-inch air motion super tweeter, accompanied by a mid-range 4-inch air motion tweeter. Then there are 2 7-inch silver graphite midwoofers, and finally for those ultra low frequencies, we have dual 12-inch aluminum cone woofers with a 15-pound motor each. Needless to say, these speakers are capable in all frequencies, including the ultra low end. So for most people and most rooms, you're not going to need a subwoofer with these speakers, but again, it does depend on your preferences and the size of your room. The Focus SE speakers are also equipped with the same toggles that I mentioned previously with the Marquis XD. So they do have a treble toggle, which is flat in the up position, and in the down position, it is 2 dB down at 10 kHz for brighter rooms. The bass toggle is flat down to 18 Hz in the up position, and in the down position, it is down 2 dB at 60 Hz. Which again raises impedance if your receiver can't handle 4 ohm loads. The speakers do come with 4 rubber feet pre-installed, but in the box Legacy provided another style of feet, which is an all-metal foot with height adjustable nuts for leveling. One of the important things that I want to point out about Nuprime Audio and the Legacy Audio products is that the build quality is top-notch. Nuprime has done an incredible job in building these amps to feel robust, but at the same time keeping them fairly light. I absolutely did enjoy placing these amplifiers versus the 60 to 90 pound Class AB amps that I'm used to placing. This was so simple, I could even just stack them up on top of each other and simply place them in my rack with ease without wrecking my back. So what are my first impressions of the sound quality of these amplifiers? Well, the first thing that I noticed is that these amplifiers have incredible dynamics, and of course part of this could be attributed to the Legacy Audio speakers, but I think it just goes hand in hand to show that these amplifiers are working very well with the Legacy Audio speakers, because they do seem to hit the demanding dynamics with ease, and they have plenty of power for the more demanding 4 ohm load. So if you are interested in a Class D amplifier that still offers that smooth Class A sound, I highly recommend that you check out the Nuprime amplifiers, and remember I did drop links down below if you'd like to check them out any further. Okay, so let's talk about the beautiful and beastly Legacy Audio speakers and what my first impressions were. So obviously the first thing that you're going to notice when you unbox these speakers is the finish, and this black pearl finish is absolutely gorgeous. Like I said earlier, think of it as like a fine black metallic automotive finish that's high gloss. But an added bonus to the black pearl finish is that it actually helps you mask a little bit of dust. So for those of you that have had high gloss black speakers before, you know that they are a pain to keep clean. Well, the black pearl does help in this area just a little bit because of that metallic fleck. It does kind of hide some of the dust, so you're not constantly having to wipe them down. We've talked enough about the looks. Obviously, you guys are going to want to know what my first impressions on how these speakers sound, and it's absolutely nothing short of amazing. These speakers are by far the most clear speaker I have ever heard in my life, and at the risk of sounding cliche, I'm starting to hear things in my music that I've just never heard before. And not only am I hearing things that I've never heard before in my music, I'm starting to hear sounds that are coming from different areas of the room, which I've never heard from any other speaker as well. The Soundstage on these speakers is absolutely fantastic. It literally blew my mind. The center image is just a laser beam, but also that wide soundstage or that big soundstage just really opens up the music to hear things coming from different parts of the room, and I've never experienced it to this extent until I got these speakers in this room. The mid-range on these speakers is absolutely rich and fulfilling, but at the same time it remains completely balanced with the high end and the low end of the speaker. And speaking of lows, the Focus SE are capable of actual LFE. Like I said earlier, they are flat down to 18 Hertz. So these speakers are putting out bass that I've just never heard any other speaker put out before, and it's just incredible to witness. And I know that some of you may be thinking that because it has dual 12-inch woofers, that the bass could maybe be overbearing or droning, and that is absolutely not the case here. Yes, these speakers are capable of shaking things in other rooms, but it's all relative to volume. Everything is very well balanced with the highs, the lows, and the mids. So as the volume goes up, of course the bass goes up, but it's never overbearing or overpowering to the rest of the sounds coming out of the speaker. The combination of the Nuprime amplifiers and the Legacy Audio speakers has shown me true dynamics in my room. I've never witnessed it to this point before, where you can have just a hush whisper and then go to a mind-booming car crash in the blink of an eye. The dynamics are just there, they're punchy, they're crystal clear, and I've just never experienced them quite like this before. To sum it all up, these speakers and amplifiers are everything I wanted, everything I expected, and more. I've just never been so happy with the audio experience of my room before. The dynamics, the clarity, the bass, the rich mids, everything is just on par, and I don't want to say perfect, but it is absolutely fantastic. Okay, I know, there are those of you just waiting for the demos, so let's get into some demos, and as usual, that comes with a quick disclaimer, and that is that my recording equipment, my room, and the device that you are listening on can greatly affect the audio, so don't take this as an accurate depiction of what I'm hearing in my room. Alright, so for the music demos, I did turn off the Anthem room correction as well as my subwoofers, so what you are hearing is just the left and right Focus SE speakers, and that's it. And when it comes to the surround sound demos, I will be turning on the Anthem room correction as well as the subwoofers to give you guys a full effect of the system. Alright, so let's get started with the first demo, which is a bit of a bass test. So this is just a bass heavy song, but please do keep in mind that not all of this demo material is copyright free, so some of them are going to have to be kept pretty short. Okay, so now that we've seen a little bit of what these speakers can do in the bass department, let's hear some blues, which is just called blues background music, and it is copyright free, so we can run this one a little bit longer. So let's move on to a little bit of pop, and this is just a pop instrumental called Done by Matthew May. This next demo is John Wick, the bar fight scene, which is kind of famous. It's actually one of my favorites to do just because this scene is so dynamic with the gunfire and everything. And because the room is like a completely tiled kind of underground pool area, it just has some really interesting, unique sound characteristics. Alright, so that's it for the demos. I hope you guys enjoyed them. These speakers seem to be able to handle anything you throw at them and do it very, very well. Remember, if you are interested in any Legacy Audio or Nuprime Audio products, please click the links down in the description below. Please consider subscribing, tick the bell icon if you do, and I'd appreciate if you would take just 1 second out of your day to click that like button. Remember to enjoy your systems. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.